NXT took place tonight in Orlando, Florida at the WWE Performance Center. You had Jada Parker kicking off the show to a nice pop. Then her opponent, Lash Legend, came out, and you get this match, Jada Parker, Lash Legend. It seems like they've been building this up for a while. Lash got the heat for a while on Jada. Jada's obviously the babyface here. Lash slammed Jada into the announce booth, and it just looked like the absolute shit. I'm not going to lie, it looked horrible. It didn't even look like she made an impact. I mean, I know it could be a dangerous spot, and you don't want to see Jada get hurt, but at the same time, it just looks so bad. Eventually, Lash hits the second Lash extension in the ring for the win, and, I just thought Jada had so much more potential than Lash, but Lash gets the win. Lash is still very green. She's not good, and she's not over. It seems like ever since they split up the Meta 4, she's lost a lot of her heat and a lot of her momentum. She was better when she was with Jakara Jackson. Now she's just nothing here. I just don't see her much as just another tall, big woman. I think Jada just has so much more potential. They fight after. The babyface Jada goes after Lash Legend after the match, and then she hits the Hypnotic through the barricade on the outside, so the feud's obviously going to continue. I guess they should have a stipulation match next because of what they did here. Blake Monroe talks to Ariana Grace backstage. There's a whole bunch of other women in the locker room, and then Jordan Grace barges in. Kylie Armstrong is upset with her. She goes after Jordan, and sets up a match later tonight. We see Javon Evans walking backstage, heading to the ring. Javon Evans is out next. He's still sad that he lost to Obafemi at Heatwave, and I didn't get it. I thought he was just boring here. He's trying really hard. He just doesn't seem to have a lot of charisma. That's what I saw. And then we see a motorcycle heading to the PC on the screen. Everyone thought, all right, that means it's The Undertaker, the American Badass. And then the gong tolls. So I thought, uh-oh. The gong went off. Could it be him? Could it be him? Could it be The Undertaker? Instead, it's Josh Briggs, and the entire crowd boos like crazy. They hate Josh Briggs. They just despise him. He rips at Javon Evans. The fans tell him to shut the hell up. I'm thinking, thank you, Orlando. Thank you, Orlando. You're actually thoughtful about the audience at home. You said shut the hell up instead of using the F word because you don't want it to get censored. If you use the F word, the CW will censor you, as will Netflix internationally. But because Orlando decided to say shut the hell up, it didn't get censored, so I appreciate them. I guess Logan Paul's telling the fans that it's going to be censored. Maybe that's had an effect. I don't know. Then there was the Briggs the Door chant. They're telling him to leave. It kind of reminded me of Bo Dallas at the old NXT in Full Sail. That's what these fans reminded me of. It really was like Full Sail. They're telling him to leave. He has that old Bo Dallas go-away heat. He hits Evans with a boot, and he grabs a chair, sits it up, and then choke slams Javon Evans into the chair, and the back of Javon's head hits the seat. It looked nasty. Javon got crushed here. You see Zaya Brookside and Candice LeRae featured in a video promo to hype up this speed match. Zaya, I have to say, looks great. She was in NXT UK, and she was out next, and I saw her. I thought, hey, why would they get rid of her? She's really pretty. She's a good worker. The market in the UK is fantastic. Why get rid of her? And then I remembered, they got rid of Zaya because they fired everyone in NXT UK, and it was just one of those things. And then everyone thought, all right, we're going to get NXT Europe. I mean, if they're going to do NXT Europe, why fire all the NXT UK people? Because UK is the biggest market WWE has in Europe. I mean, I'm not saying it's the biggest European country, but, because the wrestling is the most popular in the UK, it's their strongest market, and then, they just fire everyone. That tells you NXT Europe was never going to happen. Okay, now going back, you had Hank Tank, Obafemi, Ricky Saints all backstage in the locker room before their main event tag match, going over strategy. And then Zaya Brookside was actually out next. And I don't think they should have ever let her go. She's in TNA now. She represents TNA, but I thought, why let someone like her go? She's really pretty. And I thought, I don't know why they fired her, but she's out. Candice LeRae makes her return to NXT, and she was in NXT for a very long time. She was a staple in NXT. And then you get Candice LeRae and Zaya Brookside. This is a speed match, only 3 minutes. It was 2.5 minutes. Candice won with the springboard moonsault, so she advances. I guess she could face Sol Ruka. They can have a good match. We see Josh Briggs walking in the locker room. Then the Chase U guys stand up to him. Andre Chase walks in and leads to a match with them later tonight. We see a whole bunch of women in Ava's office. It's Fatal Influence, JC Jane, Fallon, Henley, Jasmine Nix. Then you have the Culling, Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley. And then you have Sol, Ruka, and Zarya. They're all arguing. Ava then announces a triple threat tag team elimination match, number one contenders for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, and it'll take place next week. So I assume September 16th we get Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss returning to NXT, which makes sense. They were two of the originals in the Performance Center, part of that original Performance Center class with the women, so it makes sense for them to come back to NXT in Full Sail. I don't know if Alexa Bliss will do the Tinkerbell gimmick again. But it'd be cool if she did. I'd actually really like that, but I won't get my hopes up. But I think that'd be a cool thing to see. I would like to see it, and I wouldn't mind her and Charlotte in NXT defending the tag belts. Probably, of all the women here, I guess... I don't think it'll be Sol, Ruka, and Zarya. I guess they can go with Fatal Influence and have them lose to tease further dissension between the group. But that match is next week, and that's going to be a big match. And then you have a Dark State video promo. Don't care about those losers. We see Trick Williams heading to the ring, and then Trick's out. He's cutting a promo on how NXT, the stars of NXT, forget NXT, and how when he leaves to the main roster, he's going to forget about the fans of NXT, and no one really cares about the fans. And then DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa interrupt him after he's burying NXT, and they used the old DIY music. It's not that stupid Def Rebel DIY that no one gives a shit about when they come out to no reaction. This was the classic fast beat 2016, 2017 DIY theme that I don't remember hearing, but when I heard it, it was like a nostalgic rush from 2016 to 2017, especially when they feuded with the Revival, then they feuded with the AOP, all those classic feuds. I got that fucking rush again, man. I missed them. That was a real nostalgic moment, a real mark-out moment. I hate using that, but I marked out for that. That was cool. The two greatest wrestlers in NXT history. Fans chant "Welcome Home." They say they love the fans. Today's actually the 10-year anniversary of their NXT debut. Makes sense. I believe they came through that Cruiserweight Open, the Cruiserweight Classic, whatever it was called. I don't know if that's 10 years ago now. It's been a while. It's time flies, I guess. But is that 2015, 2016? I don't remember. But yeah, that's how they came in through NXT, and I remember that's how they were featured. And they reminisce about their NXT memories, and they even referenced the infamous heel turn NXT TakeOver Chicago. And then they referenced the Demon, the Hugger, Undisputed, Glorious, all those classic NXT black and gold characters and all those great memories from that time period. I do miss black and gold, but the word in the white and gold era, and NXT really had a resurgence in the beginning of the year, I thought, but now it just kind of faded the last few months, especially in the summer. It leads to a fight. They hit Ciampa with their classic finish, and I'm thinking, please keep this music. It's great. The Def Rebel song absolutely sucks. It kills their heat whenever they come out. Fuck Def Rebel. I miss the CFOs, to be honest. They weren't the best. I know their songs were repetitive. I miss them. I hate Def Rebel. They suck. So after that, he had Ava talking to Javon Evans backstage. She doesn't want him to interfere in the Josh Briggs match. Ethan Page and Tavion Heights get into an argument backstage in front of Ava. This sucks so bad. Ava's she's too much featured on the show. I don't care if her dad might win an Academy Award soon, because he's supposed to have like an all-time performance in this Smashing Machine. Ava's on the show way too much. And man, I hate this Ethan Page gimmick. He used to be one of my favorite heels. This Canadian Menace gimmick absolutely sucks. And next week we have a flag match between Ethan Page and Tavion Heights. We get Callie Armstrong against Jordan Grace. Not much here. Jordan won after she hit the beast mode. Blake Monroe comes up and brawls with Jordan, but they get separated. And then Blake is actually busted open from the mouth. This was obviously a planned spot, but it looks nasty. She's actually bleeding from the mouth. It was actually a really good visual. We got a Lola Vice video package. It highlights her upbringing in Miami, her family, and we see them and we see her journey. And I think they've done this before, it seems like. I don't know. I remember when she was facing Roxanne last year, they kind of hyped her up like this. It seems like they might actually go all the way with her now. I think they might give her the belt at No Mercy. I think there's a good chance now. We get Josh Briggs and Andre Chase. The crowd sounded like Full Sail here. They hate Josh Briggs. I remember it was kind of like the Bo Dallas heat. They just hate him. They want him out. Kind of Baron Corbin had that for a while in NXT in the black and gold era. The fans hate this guy. Anyway, Briggs wins easily. There was a hope saw with Andre Chase in a crossbody, but we all knew Briggs would win. And he destroys the other Chase U members. He chokeslams one of them through the announce booth. So they put him over as a monster, and he faces Javon Evans next week. We see Trick Williams backstage. A camera follows him. He teases a tag team match against DIY, a partner. I hope it's Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes against DIY at the September 16th show. I think that'd be a great match. They preview next week's show, and then we get the main event, Ricky Saints, Obafemi, and Hank and Tank against Dark State. Ricky Saints and Obafemi turn on each other, and they brawl to the back. Dark State is distracted by Joe Hendry, it's weird because one of the Hank and Tank summons his name as one they were being choked out, so they summon his name. He makes a return, he distracts Dark State, and then Hank and Tank get the win for their team. I guess did Dark State do something to Hendry? I don't remember. But yeah, Hendry plays a role here. It was a cool moment. It was a nice moment with the fans. I liked it. He celebrates with Hank and Tank, and I hope they're done with Dark State. I'm glad they finally beat them. I wish they'd pushed them down the card now. But the faces technically get the win, even though two of them were only in the ring. But Hendry stands tall with Hank and Tank to end the show. Then they preview next week's show. Then they go backstage, and we see Obafemi and Ricky Saints fighting in the back by a garage door, and that's how NXT ended. I thought overall fairly decent show. I thought it was okay. I'm looking forward to that Full Sail return in 2 weeks. That's going to be a big show, and I'm really excited for that. So we'll see what happens, and I'm looking forward to seeing more NXT legends, NXT icons, NXT black and gold stars making their return in 2 weeks for the homecoming at Full Sail.